ANS News Video, June 2022. Here is the June edition of ANS News Video, bringing to you interesting news from the Salesian world. RMG. Blessed Stephen Sandor returns home. Blessed Stephen Sandor, the young Salesian coadjutor who lived through the years of World War II and the advent of the communist regime, was a victim of the Hungarian communist regime's strong anti-religious repression, and he bore witness to his faith to the point of martyrdom. The headquarters of the Hungarian province and some other buildings, including the printing house where Stephen Sandor worked, which the communist regime had nationalized 72 years ago, was handed back recently to the Salesians as their property. In a symbolic gesture of gratitude, on the 4th of June, in a solemn Eucharistic celebration, the reliquary of this martyr of communism was solemnly blessed and laid at the altar of Mary Hub of Christians in the Claricium Church, where the young coadjutor lived much of his religious life in the service of young people. The reliquary holds some bones of the Blessed, which were found and identified. Thanks to historical research and scientific examinations carried out in the years 2018 and 2019. Closing of the diocesan inquiry for cause of beatification and canonization of Father Sylvio Galis, STB. 12th June marked the 10th anniversary of Father Sylvio Galis' birth into heaven. On this day, at a solemn celebration at the Salesian Institute, San Bernardino in Chiari, Brescia, the diocesan inquiry for the cause of beatification and canonization of the servant of God, Father Sylvio Galis, concluded. The presence of the Rector Major, the Bishop of Brescia, Monsignor Pierantonio Tremolada, the Postulator General, Father Pierluigi Cameroni, the Provincial, Father Giuliano Giacomazzi, the members of the Diocesan Tribunal, the Theological Censors, the members of the Historical Commission, relatives, and large participation of people made the day very solemn, and everyone vouched for the sanctity and holy life of Father Galis. It has been affirmed that many who went to pray at his tomb have experienced lots of graces. Feast of the Rector Major at Valdoco. 24th June at Valdoco marked the 152nd Thanksgiving celebration to the Rector Major by the Salesian Family. This significant celebration, which began on the 24th of June in 1870 with the tribute of a coffee set to Don Bosco by Carlo Gastini and other former students of the oratory, to celebrate the feast of Don Bosco and express their gratitude to him. Continuing this tradition, The Salesians and members of the Salesian family expressed their gratitude to our present-day Don Bosco in the person of Father Ángel Fernández Artime. The celebrations began with the Holy Eucharistic celebration in the Basilica of Mary Help of Christians, followed by a felicitation program. The other members of the Generalate who celebrated the silver jubilees of their ordination and profession were also felicitated during that moment. Africa-Madagascar region, Rwanda, Provincial Chapter of Africa Great Lakes Vice Province. The 6th Provincial Chapter of the Africa Great Lakes Vice Province took place between 31st May to the 5th of June 2022 with 38 members in it. The objective of the entire chapter was to strengthen the implementation of the recommendations of the 28th General Chapter. The chapter members experienced a very joyful and fruitful ambience, as after the pandemic, it was the first time when all could come together to share, reflect, and evaluate together. The Salesians, together with the Salesian Family, implored the intercession of Saint Charles Lwanga, the patron saint of the Vice Province, so that their efforts may be fruitful in building the kingdom of God in the hearts of young people and their families. Kenya, Provincial Chapter of East Africa Province. The 9th Provincial Chapter of the Province of East Africa took place between the 2nd to the 7th of June 2022 at Don Bosco Utume, the Salesian Theological Center. 59 Salesians from the 4 countries of Kenya, South Sudan, Sudan and Tanzania took part in the chapter. The theme of the chapter was Credibility and Relevance, Life and Mission in Fidelity to the Charism. And it was moderated by Father Augustine Selim, the Vice Provincial. An FMA sister, a cooperator, and a past pupil were also invited as observers. The chapter was also blessed with the special presence of Father Clement Vaslav, who just concluded his 5-month-long extraordinary visitation in the province along with Father Philip Lazatin, one of the new missionaries in Afe from Philippines. It was a very fraternal moment of deep sharing, reflection and discernment on the life and activities of the province. Congo, International Day of African Child. On June 16th, at the Gahinja Don Bosco House of the Don Bosco Gangi Youth Center, the International Day of the African Child was celebrated. The event was celebrated with an exhortation to join efforts with the Salesians of Don Bosco to protect children and promote their rights. Several political and civil authorities, local, national and international facilities and organizations took part in the event, together with hundreds of children, youth and single mothers who participated in the event. During the event, the delegate of the Protection Authority briefly recalled the genesis of the African Child Day in memory of the sad events of the Soweto massacre in South Africa in 1976. He appreciated the commitment of the Salesians to protect and promote children's rights, and especially children and youth living on the streets. America South Cone region. Brazil. Young Don meet in Porto Velho. The Salesian Youth Movement of Porto Velho, with the collaboration of Father Antonio da Cunha Alves, SDB, and Sister Stephanie Pinto Gomez, FMA, and with the support of the Salesian cooperators, for the first time together held the Young Don meeting, a youth celebration and Salesian spirituality event that gathered about 200 youth leaders for an entire evening and night of animation and prayer from 6 p.m. local time until 6 a.m. in the morning. The theme that accompanied the experience was "In the Strength of the Holy Spirit with Mary, Youth in Mission on this Amazon Land," while the motto was "Do all through love, nothing through constraint," of that of St. Francis de Sales. The whole meeting was well animated with a very enthusiastic participation from the young people that awakened in them Salesian youth leadership. Argentina. A new song to relive the 2020 Strenna. Keeping in mind the Strenna of the Rector Major, "Do all through love, nothing through constraint," the reflections of Brother Stefan Crescia and Brother Isaac Aguilera from the two provinces of Argentina gave rising to a Strenna song with a musical construction involving lay and consecrated people from Argentina, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. The video that accompanies the song reflects Salesian faces and presences from different places and provinces. The song powerfully presents the ideal of loving like Jesus and Don Bosco without any pretense, but that which produces life and desires to do good to all. A wonderful way through which this invitation to do everything through love is once again reinforced.
Llevando mi andar, tanto peso en las espaldas, desfigurando mi mirar, pero al mismo tiempo tanta gracia que sopla y llega, es libre entrega, Dios me vino a abrazar.
East Asia Oceania region. Collaboration between Salesians and Laos Youth Union. June 9, 2020 was a special day as the Salesian mission at Laos officially signed the Phase 4 agreement between the Salesian Society of Thailand Foundation and the Youth Development Department of the Lao Youth Union. It was first signed as a cooperation agreement with the Lao People's Revolutionary Youth Union in 2008 and subsequently renewed thrice. The agreement was signed by Mr. Pia Yatotu on behalf of the Lao Youth Union and on the Salesian side by the Provincial for the Don Bosco International. The work of the Salesians in Laos began on the 24th of May in 2004 under the leadership of Italian missionary Father Tito Pedro. Soon, the spiritual sons of Don Bosco began their work simply by repairing small vehicles, an activity that was carried out by 5 young Laotian men who had studied at the Don Bosco Technical College in Bangkok, Thailand. This agreement will certainly open better prospects for our work with the young people in Laos. Japan, Provincial Chapter. From the 5th to the 10th of June, the Salesian province of Japan held its provincial chapter at the Salesian Sisters Retreat House in Yamanaka. There were 24 confreres present as the members of the chapter. The Provincial, Father Jacob Hamaguchi Hideaki, exhorted the members to participate in the chapter with a spirit of renewal and dedication to build and strengthen the province. The members evaluated the challenges that the province was facing and drafted the general plan to realize 3 objectives: to put the mission in favor of needy youth before any other task, to strengthen the religious community with sufficient number of confreres, to rethink of ways through which the confreres can be involved in the shared mission with the laity. The chapter was also blessed by the presence of the Bishop of Saitama, Most Reverend Yamanouchi Michiaki. Philippines North, Provincial Chapter. The Salesian province of Philippines North gathered together between 19th to the 24th of June at Mary Help of Christians Center for Spirituality, Batangas, to celebrate the provincial chapter with the theme Renewed Salesians and Lay for the Youth of Today. 51 confreres participated in the chapter, and the framework of the chapter was structured following the 3 nuclei: priority of Salesian mission among today's young people, profile of the Salesian today, and together with lay people in formation and in mission. Lay mission partners and young people were invited to participate in the chapter as observers. It was no doubt a moment of great fraternity, deep sharing and renewal for the province and all the members who participated in it. The provincial chapter concluded with the renewal of 6 young Salesians from the post-novitiate community. South Asia region. Voices from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's economy has collapsed and it is running out of all essential commodities, and the people are struggling to find food, fuel and medicine. In fact, many Sri Lankans are skipping meals as they endure shortages, lining up for hours trying to buy scarce fuel, cooking gas and food commodities. It is indeed a harsh reality for this country and the people, as all are hoping soon for a solution from this critical crisis. All the 19 Salesian presences of Sri Lanka are reaching out in all ways, being close to the people in helping out as many of them with the basic provisions for food, health and education. All the Salesian houses have been exhorted by the Provincial to accommodate and help as many people as possible during this moment of deep crisis and to be close to the suffering people. Central and Northern Europe region. Austria, Provincial Chapter. The second session of the Provincial Chapter of the Province of Austria was held between 29th May to the 1st of June 2022 at the Don Bosco House in Vienna. There were 17 members from all Salesian presences in the country, and they discussed the current challenges of the Salesian mission in Austria and defined the province's strategic goals for the coming years. On the 30th of May, Monsignor Stefan Tornowski, Auxiliary Bishop of Vienna, celebrated Mass with the chapter members, encouraging them in their commitment among young people. The young representatives of the Salesian youth movement also took part in the chapter, and they thanked the Salesians for their work and, in a text entitled Dreams of Youth, asked the Salesians to accompany and promote the youth as much as possible. Volunteers of Don Bosco International Volunteering received missionary crosses. On 12th June, after a year of formation at the Salesian Mission Office in Warsaw, the volunteers of Don Bosco International Volunteering received their missionary crosses. In the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Jesus in Warsaw, Father Tadeusz Jarecki, Provincial Superior of the Warsaw Province, presided over the Eucharist, during which he handed the missionary crosses to 16 young volunteers. With this formation and symbolic receiving of the crosses, these young volunteers will now go to the missions in various countries in Africa and South America to help in the Salesian works and proclaim the gospel. Poland. Corpus Christi Eucharistic Procession on Vistula River. The world-famous Poland's Corpus Christi Eucharistic Procession on the Vistula River took place on the 16th of June. The origin of this remarkable tradition dates back to year 1923. The 18-kilometer water trail was organized with the cooperation of 3 parishes located by the Vistula. More than 50 boats, jet skis, and larger boats carried the participants of this unique Corpus Christi procession. Most of them were young people and parents with children who participated in the procession on the water, listening to the gospel reading and actively participating in prayer and singing. The Blessed Sacrament was carried by custodian Father Lukasz Mastoles to the medieval Basilica of Czerwinsk, accompanied by the singing of the Litany of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Poland. Festival Without Borders 2022. The Festival Without Borders 2022 an initiative which started several years ago by the Salesian Educational Center of Rozheny Stoke, belonging to the Salesian province of Poland, Warsaw, took place on the 16th of June. This year's edition was a bit special as the event was attended by a group of young Ukrainian refugees who, together with their Polish peers, took part in cultural workshops, concerts, theatre and circus performances. In the spirit of Don Bosco, as in previous years, during the festival, the Salesians created spaces for the young people where they, through art and play, shared their happiness and joy with one another and were able to grow closer, integrate and learn from one another. Interamerica region. Meeting of Colombian Youth Realities. On the 2nd and 3rd, at the Salesian University Foundation campus in Bogota, Colombia, a gathering was held entitled Meeting with Colombian Youth Realities in the Perspective of Educational Pastoral Care, an academic space for analysis and reflection which aimed to explore the status of Colombian youth. The research was conducted by the Salesian University Foundation with the participation of the Colombian provinces of both the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians and the Salesians of Don Bosco. The main survey study witnessed the participation of 10,656 students between the ages of 14 and 29, all related to the pastoral educational works of Salesian Colombia. During these 2 days, young people from the Salesian houses of Juan Bosco Obrero, Fundación Don Bosco, and Fundación de Servicio Juvenil also performed various artistic performances. United States West, Provincial Chapter. Under the theme, For You We Study, For You We Work, and For You We Give Our Lives. The Salesian province of St. Andrew the Apostle of USA West convened its Provincial Chapter from the 19th to the 24th of June. 26 chapter members, along with 20 laity and youth, participated in the chapter. During the chapter, the young people expressed not only their desires and aspirations for belonging and community experience, but also invited the Salesians to a greater presence in their lives, inviting the Salesians to accompany them and also their families. In his concluding address, the Provincial, Father Mel Trinidad, called on the chapter assembly to continue to work in the spirit of cooperation, synodality and dialogue, and work for the greater glory of God and the salvation of souls. Mediterranean region. 100 years of Salesian presence in Perugia. 20th June 2022 marked the solemn day of celebrations for the first centenary of the Salesian presence in the city of Perugia. The presence of the 10th successor of the Salesians of Don Bosco, Father Ángel Fernández Artime, the Provincial, Father Stefano Aspettati, and many authorities, illustrious personalities, and past pupils made the celebrations very memorable. The Salesians originally arrived in Perugia in 1922 and immediately succeeded in earning the esteem and admiration of everyone through their cordiality, amiability and commitment to the education of young Perugians. In a ceremony in the presence of the authorities of the city, the mayor and the rector major, the Salesian Institute of Perugia was inscribed in the roll of honor in the Sala dei Notari. The celebrations continued with various events which culminated with the celebration of the Eucharist attended by all young people of Salesian Youth Pastoral Movement and their families and members of the Salesian Family. Spain, 20th Inter-Salesian Games. On the 4th of June, more than 1,500 children and youth from 15 Salesian houses filled Elque's City of Sports from dawn to dusk. The inauguration was presided over by the city's mayor, Carlos González Serna, accompanied by Sports Councillor Vicente Alboroya and Salesian Director of the Elque, Father Miguel Gambin. The entire day was filled with lots of activities and competitions in various sports such as basketball, handball, volleyball, soccer and tennis. The meeting also had a solidarity aspect as each participant contributed €1 to a project of the NGO Bosco Global. That's what we have for you now in this June edition of ANS News Radio. Share your news, events and stories and make it known to the rest of the world. We will catch up with more news for the July edition. Thank you.